This story is about a young couple in the city of Lusaka, Zambia, and this is how it all began. My wife and I had an issue this morning before we left for work. It was a small misunderstanding. We were both angry with each other. From my facial expression, my wife knew I was very prepared to keep malice with her that morning. She was also angry and didn't mind playing along. I stepped out of the house and she locked the doors and followed me behind. Since we don't have a car, we always board the same bus to work every morning and ensure we sit together, side by side on the bus. I was to drop at Manda Hill and she was to drop at Zesco. But today I didn't want to sit close to her, so I sat at the back seat and she sat in front, just beside a good-looking police officer. The man glanced at my wife. I saw the way he looked at her hair and face with so much admiration. Then he told her she looked beautiful. My wife smiled and told him thank you. He asked my wife where she was going and she told him she was heading to work. All this while, I was sitting behind and listening to their conversation. My name is Wanza Mwimba. I am a police officer. He showed her his badge. I was just posted to Lusaka a month ago. Right now I am heading to my place of assignment. My wife nodded her head. When the conductor requested for my wife to pay her transport fare, the officer offered to pay. He pulled out 50 kwacha and paid for 2. My wife thanked him and smiled. Then the officer continued, "So I will be dropping soon at Manali. I am accommodated at Charleston Police Camp. I don't know if you can drop by someday to say hello to me. Can I have your number?" I didn't waste any more time. I tapped my wife on her shoulders immediately. She turned and then I asked her, "Hope you remembered to put a spoon inside Kasuba's lunchbox. You know you always forget." My wife was puzzled. She was probably wondering who Kasuba is and why I had chosen to talk to her. Before she could ask any further questions, I added, "Try to pick her up from school early today. I will be coming back home late. You can cook kabala for me for dinner so that when I return I will eat something before bed." My wife was confused. Then she glanced at the policeman and returned her gaze to me. She understood what I was trying to do. "Yes, honey." She nodded. The policeman turned and saw me. He greeted me. Then he asked my wife, "Is that your husband?" My wife nodded. The policeman glanced at me again and again. Then he glanced for the last time and smiled at me. I didn't smile back. When we got to the Chainam, I dropped from the bus and dragged my wife along with me. My wife couldn't stop laughing. While we were about to board another bus, she asked me, "Honey, who's Kasuba?" "Kasuba is our future daughter. Jump on the bus, let us go." My wife laughed. We boarded another bus, and this time we sat together, side by side in the bus, and this time I paid for her. When you decide to stop putting in the work and you become divided, you let the devil occupy that space. He takes your position without your permission and builds a home for himself in your place. Don't let the devil have a place in your home. Cover all grounds. Make your presence known. May God bless our marriages and relationships.